It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update, as WWE is said to be interested in signing another AEW star. A retired WWE superstar is said to be cleared to return, and WWE are being sued by a rival promotion. And before we continue, make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest wrestling news. Let's start with some news from Impact Wrestling, where a top New Japan Pro Wrestling star is set to make his return. It's been announced that Bullet Club's Jay White will be working the upcoming tapings on Friday 21st and Saturday 22nd of January in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. White would make his Impact debut at Slammiversary 2021 to much fanfare, although this was mostly due to a teased feud with then Impact World Champion Kenny Omega, something that failed to materialize. His most significant match would turn out to be an Impact Tag Team title match lost to Omega's elite allies, the Good Brothers, with White teaming with his latest Bullet Club inductee, Chris Bay. Switchblade's return will be his first Impact appearance since August 2021, where he would team with Bay in a losing effort against Finn Juice. Let's hope that we can see Jay White receive a better run this time around, although it's currently unknown if there are plans for him to be involved in the main event scene or if his alliance with Chris Bay will continue. Last night's episode of AEW Dynamite would kick off with the trio of Adam Cole, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly making their way to the ring, cutting a promo and then being interrupted by the Young Bucks as tensions between Red Dragon and the Bucks continue, with Adam Cole stuck in the middle. A future match between the two teams was then teased, with them both stating that they want to win the AEW World Tag Team titles this year and will beat any team put in front of them to do so. Adam Cole would then call out Orange Cassidy and his best friends before a brawl was jump-started by Cassidy. This would then lead to a moment where Chris Statlander confronted Adam Cole before his real-life girlfriend Britt Baker would sneak into the ring to take out Statlander. Cole would then set up for the signature kiss on the cheeks from the Young Bucks before Britt pushed them aside as the couple locked lips. This is the first time Cole and Baker have teamed up on screen, with Baker perhaps now considered an official associate of the Elite. The pair are now scheduled to team up in a match for the first time, with them taking on Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander next Wednesday on Dynamite in mixed tag action. Last week, Hangman Page would defend his AEW World Championship against Bryan Danielson, with the champion now needing a new challenger for his title. On AEW Dynamite last night, his next contender may have been revealed as we saw the return of Lance Archer to All Elite Wrestling. Archer would interrupt a promo between Dan Lambert and Hangman Page, with it looking like he was about to take Lambert out. Archer would then divert his attention to Hangman, laying him out with a blackout slam onto a steel chair. Archer hasn't been seen on television since October 23rd, where he picked up a neck injury after a botched moonsault on his opponent Eddie Kingston. The match was then abruptly ended with Kingston pinning Archer with an awkward roll-up in order to get him to the back. If Lance does end up being Hangman's next challenger, it will be his second time challenging for the world title, as he did so in October 2020 against then champion Jon Moxley after winning the Casino Battle Royal a month earlier. Next up, let's go to another story from last night's AEW Dynamite, a show that saw a much anticipated debut take place. At the end of Penta El Zero M's victory over Matt Hardy, the victor would call out Malachi Black, who would appear in the ring after a blackout. A brawl would then ensue between the two, with the Varsity Blondes coming to the aid of Penta. The lights would then go out once again before Black was joined by Brody King, with the two men clearing the ring to unite for the first time in AEW. Black and King have been a tag team outside of AEW since September 2021, with them currently holding the PWG Tag Team Championships as the Kings of the Black Throne, winning the belts in their first match as a duo. They will seemingly now use the Kings of the Black Throne name in AEW, with commentary referring to them as that, as well as hinting that Brody is merely the first member of a House of Black stable. Brody is no doubt a great pickup for AEW, and it will be interesting to see who could join him as the next edition of the House of Black. Next up, with WWE said to be interested in signing MJF in 2024 when his contract expires, we now have a report that they are also interested in adding his hired gun Wardlow to the roster. According to Wrestling Insider WrestleVotes, WWE are extremely interested in signing Wardlow once his contract comes to an end, and they would say, With his biggest match to date happening later tonight, I can confirm without hesitation that WWE will be extremely interested in luring Wardlow away from AEW when his contract is due. There are several people within World Wrestling Entertainment that love his potential. Wardlow would no doubt fit the mold of a typical WWE guy, with him having the size and power that they usually look for in a main eventer. Whilst it's currently unclear when his contract expires, most AEW wrestlers signed 3-year deals during the early days of the company, meaning his deal could come to an end as soon as this year. His first appearance happened in August 2019 during a video package at All Out, so perhaps this bidding war could be something to look out for this summer. Wardlow would wrestle on last night's Dynamite, seemingly having CM Punk beat in the middle of the ring before MJF demanded he continue the punishment. Ultimately, Punk would win via a surprise roll-up, with Wardlow seemingly holding MJF responsible for the loss before Shawn Spears was able to get between them. This is yet another seed planted for Wardlow turning on MJF at some point in the future to become a top babyface in the promotion. Next, let's go to some more news coming out of WWE, with it being said that a retired wrestler may be cleared to wrestle. In December 2014, it would be announced that popular NXT star Corey Graves had been forced to retire from in-ring action due to concussion issues. He would then be transitioned into a commentary role on the Black and Gold brand before moving to the main roster in July 2016. According to a report from Fightful, there has been a shift in Corey's status over the past year, with sources telling them that he was cleared by WWE doctors at some point in 2021. Fightful then reached out to both Corey Graves and WWE for official word, although both would not confirm or deny the news. According to Fightful sources, several pictures have been made from either Creative or Graves himself, with it being said that he has been removed from the strict no contact list, which consists of the likes of Scott Hall and Paige. This appears to explain Graves' recent 24/7 championship win in November, which saw him pin Akira Tozawa for the belt before quickly losing it to Byron Saxton. Corey has spoken many times in the past that he hopes to wrestle again, citing Edge's return to wrestling as inspiring, so it looks like we may be able to add Graves to the list with Edge and Bryan Danielson of wrestlers that we thought would never be cleared again, but were. It will be interesting to see if WWE eventually settle on plans for an in-ring return, something I do hope to see should it be possible. And finally, we have some news coming out of Major League Wrestling, who have filed a lawsuit against the largest wrestling promotion in the world. This week, MLW have announced a lawsuit has been filed in federal court, challenging WWE on their alleged attempt to undermine competition and monopolize the professional wrestling market by interfering with MLW's contracts and business prospects. The suit claims that WWE interfered in a major streaming deal for MLW, forcing their contract with the Fox-owned Tubi to be cancelled a day before the announcement. And MLW would release a statement on the matter and said, "As described in the complaint, WWE pressured third parties to abandon contracts and prospective relationships with MLW. WWE's misconduct included disrupting every level of MLW's business, including a major streaming deal for MLW, which would have been transformative for the company." MLW also alleged in the complaint that in early 2021, after MLW announced that it was in talks with Vice TV to air MLW programs on Vice TV, a then WWE executive warned Vice TV that WWE owner Vince McMahon was pissed that Vice TV was airing MLW programs and that Vice TV should stop working with MLW. The Vice TV executive responded that WWE's conduct was illegal and an antitrust violation, with the WWE executive responding that she could not control McMahon. Of course, WWE have an ongoing business relationship with Fox, who own the Tubi streaming service. Tubi has millions and millions of monthly users on the service, providing a huge platform for MLW to grow, although the planned deal was stopped by WWE, who seemingly weren't happy with Fox's decision. In July 2020, MLW had signed a deal with DAZN to stream their shows, although this deal was cut last year, with a new deal said to have been signed with a larger provider, which we can assume was Tubi. Not only did MLW lose their deal with DAZN to jump to Tubi, they then lost the Tubi deal at the hands of WWE. This of course lost them a ton of money. The lawsuit alleges that Stephanie McMahon managed to interfere with the plans, with it said that she told Fox they could lose WWE's business or preferred content if Tubi did not acquiesce to WWE's demand. MLW received a letter that the deal was terminated the night before they planned to announce it publicly as a result of WWE's pressure and interference. The lawsuit also lists a number of other allegations, including that of poaching talent from MLW, as well as interference in their deal with Fight, as as well as citing irreparable harm to MLW and its consumers. And of course, we will make sure to keep you updated should there be any further updates on the case as legal proceedings begin. And before you go, make sure you check out my video where I discuss 12 of the most obscure WWE appearances by AEW wrestlers.